I feel like Deadpool 2 made a mistake. That's going to make it a little bit harder to include in MCU continuity. Of course, they don't have to include it in MCU continuity, but...
Josh Brolin?
No, not Josh Brolin. The First Class X-Men cameos.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just how Deadpool sees them.
I mean, even so, you could very easily just reboot or not even reboot.
They could just ignore that it happened.
But make make a movie
of the other Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
That doesn't even. It's still Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, but it's.
Just go to the Russo brothers and be like, look, we put this in, but this don't make sense. You fix Joss Whedon stuff, you can do anything.
Well, I mean, it's Deadpool. It would seriously start. He's like, all right, so, new company, same me. Let's do this. And that would be
basically.
it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they had that one Deadpool, and then they just turned around and did this one in the same universe and just made random references to it.
Yeah.
That's true.
And no one questions it.
Which this one doesn't take place in that universe anymore because that timeline got erased.
That's true.
I like to imagine Deadpool takes place in the, I want to say...
I actually like to imagine that the Deadpool movies are literally movies that take place in the MCU. Like, these are actual movies Deadpool have made, not things that have happened. Like, we were watching a movie that Deadpool made for the X-Men.
It's like a legit theory, and the second one really made it seem like that's the theory.
That's why he narrates the way he does, and what's his face says things like maybe it'll move along the plot.
Yeah, that's always bothered me.
It's because it's literally just a movie to make him look good.
Universe. I can accept that theory.
That's how Deadpool 3 starts when Disney has it. It's him watching the movie.
There's talk might not be a Deadpool 3, and they're just gonna do a Deadpool 4. So, because the writers were like, well, we're doing an X-Force movie, and Deadpool's gonna be in it, so that's kind of like a Deadpool 3. So we're just gonna go Deadpool 2, Deadpool 4.
Well, they should just make it like a 15-minute animated short and throw it in there and call it a trilogy like Riddick did.
But now we actually have a legitimate Riddick trilogy.
Yeah, so now we own 2 box sets that say Riddick trilogy, and they're not the same. One of them has 2 movies and a cartoon. Then there's 3 movies, and who gives a shit about the cartoon?
Yeah, I'm not too about the cartoon.
Anyways, let's actually start this podcast for real.
Beep! Boop! Hello, everyone. Welcome to... Oh, I was going to do an ASMR intro.
Okay. Jacob's already beat you to that. That's how one of the arcades.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to...
You gotta start over because I was talking during that.
God damn it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nerdly Kingdom Podcast. Lay around while my sweet, whispery voice penetrates your ear holes and gives you those nice, tingly ASMR feelings all through your butthole. We recently saw Deadpool 2.
You're not doing the whole thing like this.
No, you're not. You keep moving the chair so much, that's all they're gonna hear.
You're just gonna hear.
You're not quiet enough for this.
Welcome to Nerdly Kingdom, where we record 4 podcasts and then Brad takes 8 months to upload them.
Hey, I have a computer now, so it'll be a lot easier.
You should have tried harder.
I probably could have, yes, but...
Nah.
Beep! So... This is why we can't have nice things, William. I'm Brad, Lori's here, William's here. We're here to talk about Deadpool 2. What do you want to talk about Deadpool 2?
Deadpool the Squeakquel.
I took no notes, as usual. I'm actually going to stick to you today.
Chipmunk movie. I didn't do any notes either.
Great. You're the only one that ever usually does, so now we're really screwed.
I've told myself for a week that I was going to do notes, and my notebook's in the backseat of my car, and I did nothing.
I haven't taken any notes this week on this movie.
Sounds about right. What do you want to talk about? I'm not sure how
I saw this movie. I really liked it. I was afraid. I was kind of scared leading up to it because I wasn't that thrilled.
Better or worse than Deadpool 1? I know. I don't know how to answer that question.
It's a tough question because I have a very personal connection with the first Deadpool.
I don't want to say it's better. It's
Reaches.
It's definitely not better, but I don't want to say it's worse.
I'd say it's on par. I'd say they're even. I mean,
I felt like the first half of that movie was kind of iffy, but then it all paid off in the end.
Yeah, it felt like there was a lot. I mean, that was my biggest fear about the movie was that it seemed like there was too much going on.
Boy.
And there is a lot going on, but not in a convoluted type way.
Yeah.
It moves along pretty well, I think.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I feel like with the first one, because it was kind of that first R-rated, raunchy superhero movie that's not like a spoof movie or something like that. Like, this is a literal comic book character, and they're doing an R-rated movie. This is new. Let's see what maybe we can kind of get away with and stuff like that. And then they realized, oh, people love this. And so in the second one, it feels like they weren't holding back.
Yeah, that is funny. I wonder what Fox thought about this. Like, let's cut the budget of this movie like 3 times. Like, what? It made money? You mean we probably should have actually put money in this so it would make more money? Wow, we're Fox and we're stupid, but what else is new?
Also, congrats to Deadpool, because apparently I think their opening weekend passed Avengers opening weekend.
No, but the thing about the budget cuts with the first Deadpool was that the scenes that got cut really weren't too much anyway.
Yeah, I know.
So,
But even
I
so.
mean, I get what you're saying.
I have millions of reasons to hate Fox. This is just what they do. And we won't have to worry about it for a whole lot longer.
Yeah, that's a true fact.
That's a true fact.
But
That's a rock fact.
that's a rock fact. But yeah, I was definitely worried there was going to be too much going on. And there is, but it's not convoluted. It's done very well. It all kind of flows together pretty well, and I was pleased with it overall.
Yeah,
I had a good time.
That X-Force scene, that first fight scene they have is amazing, isn't it? That's what I tell everyone. Everyone that asks me how the movie
It's
is.
a great scene.
I was like, when the X-Force first scene when they all get in the ground is great. And yeah, I'm just setting them up for failure, and because that's what the movie does, and I'm not about to stop trolling them.
Them cameos for the X-Force,
know,
though.
right?
Like,
And I'm almost positive in one of the trailers you actually see Terry Crews fight someone,
You do.
which means
You
they
do.
filmed stuff specifically for the trailer just so it wasn't in the movie.
They do that
Yeah.
for a lot of movies.
yeah.
I know, but that was different. They did that for like promotional reasons. This was literally doing it so they could be an asshole. Like,
In the best way, though.
It's funny because you just don't expect it. It's hilarious.
I could see them going to Terry Crews going, look, we know that y'all aren't in this movie, but we don't want people to think that, so I'm gonna need you to be really tough fights. And he's like, yeah!
My favorite thing about X-Force is that in the trailer they show all of the characters except for Zeitgeist and Vanisher. So seeing Zeitgeist and
maybe they
realizing...
didn't show Vanisher. You don't know.
No, but-
They could have been there the whole
No,
time.
but I'm getting to the joke about that. But seeing Bill Skarsgård as Zeitgeist, I was like, holy shit. And then when they do the jump, seeing just that one parachute just floating, I lost my shit because I wasn't expecting it.
At first, I was like, because whenever they all got to the thing, someone's like, oh my god, the parachute's right there. And I was like, is someone just holding it? Like, is one of the other members just holding it? Is there really someone there? And they're like, it's a person. And I was like, okay,
I
because...
thought it was funny.
I love how multiple times, like, you go in expecting something, but you know it's Deadpool, so you know expect the opposite. And so they set you up to expect the opposite, and then they do the opposite of that as well. Like, you have the guy with no powers, and you expect him to die immediately. But it's Deadpool 2, so you're like, he might do okay. And he comes down, and he does okay. It's like, oh, here's the joke. But then, no, then he dies again after they make you think he's okay, because it sets you up for failure after you think you've already been set up for failure. And it's just... over and over again, like with the Vanisher character. It's like, they're gonna make it, oh, he's gonna be invisible, it's gonna be hilarious, and he's just not there. You're like, oh, right, this is Deadpool. Of course. Just the jokes, like, they know this, how do I put this? It was made, there's so many points I think were made specifically for people like us that overanalyze stuff, because we're like, I thought then I knew what joke was coming every time, and then they set me up to be ready for that joke.
They're like,
And then I'm wrong.
They're like, here comes the joke, here comes the joke.
And then hard left.
My favorite joke in the movie actually took me by surprise. And actually the theater I saw it in, the audience I saw it in, they got the biggest laugh out of when he's wheeling through the X Mansion and talks about all the pictures of old men and needing his rape whistle.
Yeah.
I got the biggest laugh out of the whole movie in the theater, and I lost my shit. I thought it was funny.
God, him with Cerebro on his head.
It breaks it.
I love how people, like, someone was asking who was in the movie, and I told them, and they're like, wait, isn't that guy Thanos? He goes, yeah, and he calls him that in the movie a couple of times.
I was like, I know it's a cheesy joke, and I was saying this before the movie, I was like, I know it's a super cheesy joke, but if he does not call him Thanos at least once in this movie, I'm going to be so mad. And then I heard it, and I turned to Brent, I'm like, he did the thing!
Such a stupid joke.
He called him One-Eyed Willie at one part. So
Yes,
I thought
he
it was
does.
funny. I was like, it's a nice joke. It's a nice double joke.
Yeah.
Too. No, it was, yeah.
That was a joke within a joke within a joke. That's like 16 jokes.
16 jokes.
He called him the Winter Soldier at one point, too.
He did.
Yeah, because he says, like, at what point in the future do people get tired of having metal arms or something like that?
Like when he calls Domino Black Widow.
Yes. Dude, Domino was so great.
Domino was pretty good.
And I remember her character got so much backlash whenever they announced
Why?
that
Did
was
it?
Yeah, because Domino in the comics is white. So when they announced her, there was a lot.
I know.
of
I'm not
crap
saying
about
there
it.
wasn't.
And
who
then she
cares?
comes in being absolutely perfect.
Comic book elitists. Same people that lost their shit over
So-
Michael B. Jordan playing the Human Torch.
Yeah.
So,
Basically.
not human people then.
Yeah.
Just living things, but not people.
Living things.
I'm okay with that. Like I said, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, if you have a problem with these things, then I don't know.
Because it was, I like how they did it though, because they turned the diamond around her eye into,
Yeah.
it was vitiligo, I think. Yeah, that's what it's called, right?
I have no idea. I know what you're talking about, but I have no idea what it's
I know
called.
you're talking
Which
about.
which almost plays into the lucky thing, because it's like, oh, it makes a diamond, it's cool. But
Yeah.
I was like, that's
That was the
really
most-
clever, because in the comic books,
Yeah.
she's super pale and she's got like a black diamond around her eye.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, that's the thing. I was like, I heard from Josh. Josh loves the Domino character, and he thought it was really clever the way they did her character in the movie.
She was great.
Josh is a human being,
Yeah.
so he has a soul.
So,
Yeah.
Josh doesn't mind. It's one of those things, as long as they get the essence of the character right. I don't
think-
care who plays them.
May have just lost half of the people that listen to us from me ragging on comic
Good.
book elitists. We don't need you here anyways.
If you share very elitist opinions about something like that, we don't want you listening to us.
That's not true. Share everything and complain about it. At this point, we got nowhere to go but up.
Yeah.
I can handle the bad publicity.
We've got our pickaxe. We're ready to go lower.
Jesus. What was I gonna say? Oh, real quick, just to add to the nonsensical nonsense that is Deadpool. Have any of y'all read the description for the trailers on YouTube?
No.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh my
Surviving
God.
a wild
After
bovine
surviving a near-fatal bovine attack, a disfigured cafeteria chef, Wade Wilson, struggles to fulfill his dream of becoming Mayberry's hottest bartender, while also learning to cope with his lost sense of taste. While searching to regain his spice for lice, as well as a flux capacitor, Wade must battle the ninjas, the Yakuza, and a pack of sexually aggressive canines as he journeys around the world to discover the importance of family, friendship, and flavor, finding a new taste for adventure and earning the coveted coffee mug title of World's Best Lover. And that's on every single one of the trailers that came out.
That is the best thing
attack.
ever.
He's visiting the two guys who go on a pizza place.
Like, I wouldn't have been
downstage.
surprised.
Aww.
What now?
It's the that's the stage where they filmed Two Guys, a Girl, in a Pizza Place. It was
The
a
show Ryan
sitcom he
Reynolds
was
was
in.
in.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
He says the point is, I'm old.
But yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised if the movie had come out and that's what it was about.
I know, right? I'm shocked that they didn't film a fake trailer that was just that.
Brolin.
He's so small. I love him.
Anyways,
I really do. This movie made me like really love Josh Brolin
Man, I
a
loved
lot,
Brolin
and
for
I'm
the
like,
longest time.
I'm like, I hate everything. How dare you make me love you?
I love how there's people that, well, we never end up actually talking about the movie.
We're okay.
So that's fine. I love how people were trying to theorize who, what's his name? Peter? Was that the normal guy's name?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Was? Because there's so many people he could have been that didn't realize they had powers yet. He was going to magically find his powers. And it's like, and then everyone started dying. I was like, yeah, no, I think everyone's just going to die, guys. There's no theory going on here. He's just a punchline.
He has the best
One-
line in the movie. I don't know too much about that Cable fella, but I'm sure he hasn't killed as many people as melanoma
Jesus.
while applying sunscreen.
Oh man, I swear for like a solid week straight after that movie came out, I was just going up to people going, X-Force!
X-Force!
There's one of the trailers, because I didn't think Peter was even going to be in it, because in one of the trailers, you know, the one that we watched had I just saw the, you know, advertisement and thought I'd be here. There's another trailer where they ask him something and he's like, says something like, I have type 2 diabetes or something like that. And like Deadpool has a completely different response.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. I wonder if in the X-Force, do we know who's going to be in the X-Force movie yet?
Probably
I hope
whoever
it's
was
all of
surviving
them.
at the end of Deadpool.
Who survived?
Him, Cable, Domino,
I
Colossus might be
want
a member.
Peter.
Negasonic, Yukio.
I want Terry Crews to survive because I like that character and I like Terry Crews, and he didn't necessarily die.
Terry
He's got hit
Crews
by a
deserves
bus.
to be in everything.
You saw him being taken away to the hospital, so he might have lived through that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Terry Crews.
Plus, he
would-
didn't really even get that bad of a.
He went through a
impact.
window, which, you know, for Bedlam isn't that bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's Bedlam, so it's not that big of a deal.
And I mean, out of the ones who played that, with the exception of Peter, because that was like the joke, but like, I mean, you know, you got Brad Pitt, you've got Bill Skarsgård. I almost said Alexander. It's one of them.
One of
It's the
the
Skarsgårds. But you
One of
know,
them
and then you got
Vikings.
Terry Crews, and while all three of them are famous, two of them are like, all you
yes,
know,
too good for Deadpool, other
yeah,
than a cameo.
and everything. But Terry Crews, I think, would be perfect in that, like perfect.
Because didn't Matt Damon already cameo in a Marvel movie with?
Yeah, he was.
Terry
He
Crews.
was
See,
Loki.
Yeah, he was Loki.
Matt Damon was Loki.
Oh,
in
Matt Damon.
Ragnarok.
I didn't even hear y'all-
We completely
Yeah,
just
sorry,
went
yeah.
another direction.
Into
I was
Matt
just like,
Damon.
yeah, he's too good for Marvel movies except for a cameo, because in that cameo he probably makes as much money as everyone else in the movie does.
I'm like, is this Matt Damon's new thing? Is to just cameo in Marvel movies? Because
He's been cameoing in random movies since he's
got
had a
a-
career, though.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
true.
Because I don't know.
But he's
I
He
guess-
loves it. That's his
He's got
thing.
enough money that he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So
I didn't even, but it's like, I knew that was Alan Tudyk. Like, the second
Oh,
I
yeah,
saw him, I
it's
was
obvious.
like,
yeah,
that's Alan Tudyk. I did not realize that was Matt Damon until you told me.
I wonder
I
if that's-
found out.
I wonder if that's just the way we are though, because like if you had
I
him in a
don't know,
line,
because that didn't look like Matt
That's
Damon.
true, but-
No,
then again,
I
I didn't
found
even
out-
realize that Loki was Matt Damon. I
Oh,
was
I
like,
did.
Loki's
that,
was obvious. No, but I heard from someone online a few hours from it to see the movie that was Matt Damon. And so when it got to that scene, I was like intently paying attention because he's under a lot of makeup and facial hair. And like even his voice, you couldn't even
And
really
see,
make it out.
I'm like,
and
I
was
guess
like,
I'm just,
wow.
I've seen Alan Tudyk play so many kind of characters like that. Or,
Yeah.
you know, and everything. So even when he changes his voice or anything like that, I'm like, oh, it's Alan Tudyk. There he is. I love him.
The Brad Pitt one for me was the most fun
Oh
out of the
my God,
cameos
yes.
because it just one thing you just wouldn't expect.
Where was Brad Pitt?
He was Vanisher.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I heard they had him for 5 minutes
And you know he probably loved
and
every
they slapped
bit
him
of
in
it.
front of a green screen.
And just had him go
Ah.
First take. What a professional.
I found out the way they got that though because the director is his old stunt double.
Oh, wow. That's
Wow.
really cool.
He's
All
a
right.
stunt man turned filmmaker.
That doesn't happen often, does it?
Well, I mean, when you direct or rather co-direct the best action movie of all time, it opens up some doors.
What is the best
He did
action?
he did
movie
John Wick.
Oh,
Oh.
cool.
He co-directed John
I
Wick.
was doing some John Wick missions.
Oh,
On
really?
Payday 2, yeah.
That's
I
the
haven't-
that's the joke in the opening credits where it says directed by
I
one of
just
the guys
spent-
who killed John Wick.
I just spent 200 Continental
Oh,
coins, actually.
See, I
Really?
thought that
Yep.
was for some reason just a reference because all the things in the credits were like, oh my god, did you really just do this?
Yeah.
Is this? And so I thought that they were just saying this was a really bad person who probably killed John Wick's dog.
No, he's the director of John Wick.
Okay.
Cinematographer Blind Owl got me.
Oh my god.
Like that cracked me up.
Dude, those opening credits were beautiful.
I missed the first half because I was talking to Josh and I forgot this was Deadpool. I was like, oh, I need to pay attention to these little jokes.
Because, I mean, they released the Celine Dion music video. which is
I
a
never
great
watched.
music
I
video.
never watched it.
You should.
It's like Ashes. Is that...
Yeah, but you should. And then I'm like, how is that song going to be incorporated into this? Because it's a Celine Dion song. It's a very serious, slow song. And then it starts playing in the credits. I was like,
James Bond.
in the music video, Deadpool comes out in stilettos and dances to it.
Of course.
Pretty sure it's a drag queen because I think I've seen a lot of those moves on a RuPaul's Drag Race, but still awesome nonetheless. Because everyone's like, what if that's Ryan Reynolds? I'm like, that's not Ryan Reynolds.
Probably not.
That's not Ryan Reynolds, guys.
What is it? It's hard to. It's hard to talk about this movie. If the storyline was pretty basic up until the last 15 minutes of the movie, and then things got wonky.
That
will say-
random cameo of the X-Men
Yeah,
was
that
great.
was really funny. Although it didn't even occur to me until you pointed it out that those were the '80s X-Men. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's right. Well, I mean, all the original X-Men are 104 years old now.
I was so mad that I couldn't
When did that
pause
movie
it
come out?
so
That
that
was
I could see who all was there.
What movie?
The first X-Men movie.
1990, 2000. He's only 18 years old.
Because I deeply had wished that both
2000?
McAvoy and Stewart had been in that room.
That would have been funny.
Oh, I forgot about that joke where he's talking about the Cerebro
Oh.
smelling like Patrick Stewart.
Yeah. See, right there just screws up everything because they see those, then he references Patrick Stewart.
I mean,
and
in the first movie, one of my favorite jokes is we're going to take you to see the professor. He's like, McAvoy or Stewart?
I hope that when everything reverts to Disney after the buyout, that when they start doing X-Men movies, that they start doing I guess core X-Men team, and then different movies because I'm hoping eventually they start to branch out into more adult-oriented stuff with stuff like Moon Knight and Wolverine.
I think they should do something stupid and ridiculous that no one should ever do. They should make a movie that has Wolverine in it, and have the second one be solely about Wolverine, and have the third one be even more about Wolverine, and then forget the other X-Men and only make Wolverine movies. Because that would be a really stupid idea.
Because that's what I would like to do is that X-Men movies and then just do Wolverine movies that not where he's not involved with the X-Men.
Who's going to play Wolverine?
I was about to
So
say,
that-
who would you get to play
I
Wolverine?
don't know. That's a hard,
Because-
Ryan
tough
Reynolds.
question. Because at
Ryan
the
Reynolds just
present
plays
time,
all the X-Men, all of them.
It's like what's his face movie? It's like a Medea movie.
Yeah.
It's just Ryan Reynolds just plays every single X-Men.
but at the moment, I don't think there's any actor good enough for me to play a Wolverine.
And I also
We
think
still have
because
one more X-Men
when did the
movie
first X-Men
before-
movie came out?
2000.
2000. So for 18 years we've seen Hugh Jackman as
17,
Wolverine.
You
And
have to find
so-
someone that looks like Hugh Jackman.
And I mean, I don't know, but we'll get there. But I would like to have Wolverine movies and then X-Men movies that actually focus on the X-Men and not explicitly Wolverine. And I would like Wolverine to be an R-rated franchise so that we can get characters. Like, in this movie specifically, we actually get a big, brutal Colossus.
Oh my god,
Like, they
I
actually
love
do
Colossus,
Colossus
so
right.
much.
And they actually do Juggernaut right in this
Oh,
movie.
man, yeah.
Who
and so-
was it you that was telling me that that's Ryan Reynolds? Yeah.
Does the voice for Juggernaut.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
He did the
And-
mocap for it too, I think.
Probably. But, I would, because in this movie, the fight scene between Juggernaut and Colossus is everything I've ever wanted.
It's so
It's
funny.
brutal, it's cool, and they're doing X-Men characters better in the Deadpool movies than the
Yeah.
X-Men movies have done.
That's what I
so
want to talk
far.
about this movie. One thing is how in this movie you can have a completely serious and badass moment become a total joke while still being serious and badass.
Yeah.
they're fighting Juggernaut, and the way they beat him is by pantsing him and shoving a wire up his ass and then throwing him in a swimming pool.
That's how you fight Juggernaut.
While not an orchestra, a choir's in the background singing "Holy shit balls."
That's
I
the funny
love
thing.
that
And
movie.
I didn't pick up on that until I heard the lyrics. You can't stop this motherfucker. And then I was like, oh god.
It was so funny, because that music was playing, and I noticed immediately, and it was just funny watching everyone else in the row just kind of start nudging each other and like pointing at the screen. Like it's like, oh, they're starting to get it. They hear it. I missed half of the fight because I was laughing at the music. I don't remember half. I remember that Juggernaut gets like stabbed in the crotch. And Colin's like, oh, I'm fighting dirty now. I don't know why I gave him a pirate voice. But...
I liked it because it made me, like, I was, like, trying to suppress my laughter because there's just a scene where he punches Colossus in slow motion, and all you can hear is, you can't stop this motherfucker. And I was like, oh, shit, no way.
See, I didn't even pick up on that, but I didn't know the song, so I never...
I thought it was funny.
I mean, I just, and the moment they started, the moment I heard Juggernaut, I started listening to the music, and I started actually listening to what they were saying, and it just got funnier and funnier. And then at the end, if you stay until the very end of the credits, you get the acapella version. First of all, the credits play, and it's just some song, and Josh is like, the next song better damn well be a dubstep song, or I'm leaving. And sure enough, it was a dubstep song, and so we just stayed through the dubstep song, and then all of a sudden we hear, you can't stop this motherfucker!
I love how
and
in
just
the
like
year
acapella, no other music. It was great.
In the year 2018 of our Lord, Deadpool has brought back dubstep.
That's my thing. That's the moment I realized Cable was my favorite character in the movie. When he's dubsteps for pussy, and I said yes. Me and Cable are best friends because I hate dubstep.
I mean, Josh called it too because like he was saying, is dubstep still a thing? And Josh nudges me and goes, "They're gonna play Bangarang. They're gonna play Bangarang." I was like, yeah, they're gonna play Bangarang.
Oh,
and sure enough,
it was fit so well in that too. That's great.
That whole movie was weird.
Dolly Parton's 9 to 5 playing at the beginning of that
Dolly.
gave me life.
The best part was the stripper part because I wasn't expecting it. You just hear the hair whip around and then it's Deadpool.
Yeah. Which
I
love because like
stilettos.
he's done that in the comics a lot, like cross dresses and stuff, right? I know a lot of cosplayers will wear like a maid outfit or something with their Deadpool
Not
thing,
in
and
any
I
of the
don't
ones
know.
I read.
Okay.
That might have been a Daniel Way thing.
Okay. And so I was like, oh, it's like a reference to when he does that. But then maybe it's just a cosplay thing. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't understand Deadpool cosplayers because I feel like most, not all, but most Deadpool cosplayers themselves don't really understand Deadpool.
And there goes some of our other viewing audience.
So because you have stuff like Deadpool, and then you have Meme Pool, and then you have something that's right in the middle that's a mixture of like Bugs Bunny and just random shit.
It really is. It really is Deadpool, isn't it?
One of my favorite Deadpool moments in the comic that I've read is that he needs a new costume, and so there's like this one guy in the whole Marvel universe that makes everyone's costumes. And he needs a costume, and so he just grabs a bunch of stuff and puts it together, and it's Wolverine's pants, I think it's Spider-Man's top, and it's this big fish head. I think it's a fish head. I don't really remember specifics because it's been like 6 years since I've read this. But he spends a whole issue just wearing Wolverine pants, Spider-Man top, and this big animal head. Yeah.
Jesus.
But he still got his mask, though. That's why he didn't have his costume, because that was the issue where I think he got his head cut off. And he just grew out of his head. And so all he had was his mask.
That makes me think, if he had died, if they had taken off the collar, would he have come back to life?
Yeah. He's done it before in the comics.
After you... Yeah, whatever.
There's one comic
so
where...
he didn't even have to go back in time. He could have just...
taken off the collar.
Yes.
But he went back in time because that was his father-in-law.
Yeah, it's a fan theory at the moment, is that Wade and Vanessa's daughter is Cable's wife.
Because I noticed...
Because I was like, one of you guys was talking about that or posted a link, and I looked at it and went, oh, and then didn't click on it.
Oh, well, I thought it was something like that before he even brought it up, because there's a point when he's dying, and they call him Wade Wilson, and Cable just, like, jumps back and looks really worried. And then he does the whole time travel thing to save him.
So that was the whole point where he's like,
and then, yeah.
You remind me of my wife. She was funny.
And, I didn't even catch that part.
But
not that it will ever matter if the whole thing's about to be reboot, unless they keep these characters. They keep all the characters in Deadpool and put them into the Marvel Universe.
Maybe. I don't know, but there's an issue of Deadpool where something happened. I can't remember what it is. And it's right after his first big story arc, and his molecules get all fucked up, and he's just like a mass of things that's being held in this
Tube.
Bacta tank is from Star Wars. It's very similar. And all that's left of him is his hand. And that's all they have left to bury, so they just bury his hand in a coffin, and it ends with him growing out of his hand. And
That's stressful.
That's nasty.
it's a very beautiful illustrated comic panel. It's like the whole page, and it's just like weird skin coming out and him.
See, well, how does he choose where to grow out of? What if they cut off 2 hands? Do we get 2 Deadpools?
Probably.
See,
It's like starfish.
because it's
Oh
like,
my God,
well,
this-
because I was like at the beginning
It's
when
horrific.
he blows himself to pieces, I'm like, okay, so does he just grow out of one of those, or does multiples of him grow out
Because
of
there's
all
actually-
of his pieces?
In the comics, that happens, but it's not actually Wade.
Mm-hmm.
It creates a new consciousness where he loses a body part, and then another person grows out of that body part, and he grows his arm back because he gets blown up, and his other body parts form different people. And then there's like a whole other comic series called Agent X or something like that, where the character is and is not Wade, kind of like how Vision is and is not Jarvis.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really weird story arc, but
So what you're saying is we could easily have like how many not Wades walking around right now after 2 movies?
I think there was Andrea was telling me about, they tried to do that in the comics too, where they tried to clone him, but they were never able to make someone to withstand the pain, so they became so insane they kept just trying to kill themselves over and over and over and over again.
That's depressing.
Yeah. Yeah.
one of the best things about these movies that I'm glad they didn't adapt 100% accurately is Wade's relationship with Blind Owl. Because in the comics, Blind Owl is basically a prisoner of his
Oh,
that
yeah.
he keeps in his apartment just to have a friend.
Oh my god.
And there's one issue where Weasel and Blind Owl meet each other, and Wade finds out they've been talking and communicating with each other and gets super pissed off and locks her in a box for like weeks.
Jesus.
Yeah, Deadpool's pretty fucked up in the comic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that they kind of went with that's her place and they just keep going there.
Yeah.
It's like the hangout place even though she never wanted it to
I
be.
think the hardest Josh laughed in that whole movie was when he pulled up the thing and he's getting stuff and the cure, for blindness was in there. Yeah.
That was a nice callback.
Like, yeah. Josh just burst out laughing on that one.
One of my things about this movie is I like that they Ryan, Rhett, and Paul understand Deadpool as a character and not just as a meme.
Mm-hmm.
So you get dark,
Yeah.
emotional stuff. Like, it really hit me at the beginning after Vanessa died when he catches up to the killer and hugs him because he needs a hug and just throws both of them in front of
Oh,
the truck.
I know, man. That was great.
I was like, oh my god,
I need
that's
to
some
rewatch
heavy
that movie.
shit.
I am rewatching that movie today. Soon as we get done with this.
Oh, is that what y'all doing
nice.
today?
Yeah.
I've got to go buy a fully
And I fully told her how badass Terry Crews is in this movie too.
Oh my god.
I am going to be in so much trouble when this movie is over, and it's going to be
Yeah,
so
you
worth
are.
it. Like, don't blame me. It was Deadpool's joke. I'm just doing what he would
You're
want me to
just-
do.
Yeah.
What
you're
would
just building it
Deadpool
up
do?
even more.
What would Jesus do?
Not what Deadpool would do.
I like that.
Granted, they do both come back to life.
During the scene where he's dying, the music that plays is the music from Logan.
Is it really?
Yeah, I wouldn't know that. Still haven't seen Logan.
I haven't seen Logan.
That was before I started watching
You
every
haven't
movie
seen
that came out.
Logan yet? Really?
I was tempted
like
to
how
buy.
Man.
You're surprised that she hasn't seen Logan, but not me.
You haven't seen it either?
No, that was the first one to say I hadn't seen Logan.
Oh, I didn't hear you say it. I heard her say it though.
No, I haven't seen Logan.
Wow.
I've been
That was
tempted
before.
to buy the.
That was before I watched every single movie that ever came out ever.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to buy the Deadpool cover for Logan.
What
You
was that
should.
one movie
It's a good movie.
that this is off topic? So is everything we do. That had Denzel Washington in it. That's apparently a sequel to something.
The Equalizer?
Yeah, Equalizer. I'd never heard of that.
I was like,
really?
remember the Titans?
I
I'm
was
so
like,
confused.
I knew the preview had to play at your theater too. He got what I was talking about.
Wow.
Because I actually saw that movie in theaters, surprisingly. Equalizer.
I didn't know what
I
it
went with a
was.
group of
Like,
people.
I was watching the preview. I was like, this doesn't look like a great movie, but I'll go see it. And then there was like Equalizer, 2 red lines. I was like, is this a sequel?
Yeah, that's a sequel.
Speaking of which,
But that was actually Equalizer was one of those movies that I knew nothing about when I saw it. It was just a group of guys I knew we were all going to go hang out to the movies, and that was the movie that was picked.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, cool, okay. And I ended up really liking it. It was, I mean, Denzel's Denzel. He can't disappoint.
I'm about to.
Did you watch the trailer that I sent in our Discord chat for that Artemis Hotel or Hotel Artemis?
No, I didn't, but I'm aware of
Okay.
it because Charlie Day.
Batista's in it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in it, I know.
Jeff Goldblum's in it. The chick from the first Kingsman, who I always forget her name. Yeah.
Butella?
Yeah. Jodie Foster's in it. Because I told one of my coworkers about it and sent him a link. And he came over, and apparently it's set in the John Wick universe. And it's like a John Wick spinoff or something. I don't know.
I don't think that's the John Wick spinoff. The John Wick spinoff is it's supposed to be a TV show.
I've killed many people with John Wick because he's a character you can play as in Payday 2.
Very nice. Very nice.
You can even there's just one mission where you it's not part of the mission, but you get an achievement for kidnapping these 2 dudes that are standing behind a bank, and those are the 2 dudes that killed the dog in the movie or something like that.
I thought about buying that
Because
game.
I did not get the reference when I was doing it. Now I get it.
I thought about buying that game for my Xbox and then realized I
No,
would not
yeah,
be good at that
the,
game.
I wouldn't
And then
be-
I did not buy
You
it.
wouldn't be able to play with us anyways.
The John
Yeah,
Wick
but I mean,
spinoff.
I could.
It's called the Continental.
Of
Okay.
course it is.
Because that's the hotel that all the assassins stay at.
Speaking of that kind of thing,
Well, see, this one is Artemis Hotel has literally the same story because it is
Oh,
a
really?
hotel full of assassins and criminals.
John Wick did it first.
yeah, well, people were complaining about movies being sequels and prequels and adaptations, and so I was going through the list of movies that we have seen or I'm going to see this year.
Mm-hmm.
Adaptation, original, sequel, adaptation, original, adaptation, sequel, prequel, sequel, adaptation, original. Not sure what to do with that one. Sequel.
Slender Man would be an
sequel.
adaptation.
I don't know what that is. Prequel, remake, sequel, remake, kind of a sequel, remake, sequel.
Yeah.
This year sucks.
But yeah, Slender Man would be an adaptation.
There's not a story to Slender Man, though.
Yeah, but it's an adaptation of what the creepypastas are on the internet.
Yeah, but not enough that I would say...
I wouldn't call it original, it's an adaptation.
Have I seen any original movies this year?
I'm for the purpose of what I'm doing...
Quiet Place would be original.
For the purposes of what I'm doing
Quiet
here,
Oh, yeah.
I would say it's original just because there's nothing to base it off of.
Yeah,
Isle
but
of
there,
Dogs.
yes, there is. There's a story on the internet, and it's not an original idea.
No.
though.
Okay, here's the thing, though. This is an official movie, which means it's made by the person that owns the copyright. The person that owns the copyright at no point has ever made a story about it.
Okay.
And so it could be anything.
Okay.
Because they fight, like, no one even knows who owns the copyright to this. They fight so hard, they shut down every single person that makes money off of it. So I'm curious to see what the guy that actually made
that's
it.
your movie right there.
I'm curious to see what the guy that made it made Slender, because the only thing the guy that made Slenderman has ever done is that he wanted to make a thing that looks so human, but also so not that there's no way to know what its motivations are. That is the only official Slenderman lore that exists.
Like, I really want to see it. I know it's going to scare me because I'm a baby.
And it's weird to me that no one knows who owns the copyright.
But
I'm
Slender
pretty
Man
sure
owns the
it's
copyright
the guy
to
that
himself.
created
He
it.
sold it.
Uh,
He still has control over it, but he sold it.
You know what's going to
I don't
happen?
care.
We're going to get there, we're going to sit down, and we're going to have been bamboozled and learn that Sony owns the copyright.
So,
and
like,
we're gonna
technically
be like, oh.
technically it is an adaptation, but it's also like an adaptation of like this cup, the movie. No one knows anything about this cup. You can make anything up you want on the internet about this cup, but this cup has its own story to tell, and I'm excited to see it. This cup, the movie.
I could care less about a Slenderman movie, to be honest.
Well, like I said, I'm really interested in to see what it's gonna do because even
It's like I've seen the trailer, and it
haven't.
looks like hashtag too edgy, but...
nah, that's very possible. Hold on.
You've seen it, haven't you?
I have a memory of seeing it, but I have no memory of what it had in it. So
It really gives a feeling of like hashtag too edgy for me, but
there's something else about Deadpool I wanted to talk about, but now I can't remember.
Well, I'm researching.
if your guys' theory about
Okay.
Cable being his son-in-law is true, when he heard Wade's name and that's kind of the pivotal moment for him, it plays off the joke from Batman vs. Superman that Deadpool made earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you make that joke and then you make the ending literally almost that joke.
He got Colossus
Okay,
to say
the
fuck.
people making
He
the
did, and
the
it was
people
great.
making the movie is called Mythology Entertainment. Ever heard of them?
No.
This is their website. That's it. There's nothing else here.
This is probably their first.
This is gonna be interesting.
Oh well, I don't care. I'm probably not even going to see that movie.
Yes, you are. You have to. You are required to go see that movie. Yeah.
It comes out near October, doesn't it?
It
I'm gonna,
comes out.
Here's a poll to our listeners. Would you give
August
a shit if
24th.
I saw the Slender Man movie?
Yes.
Leave your answers in the comments below.
Yes.
Slenderman
I'll
Jiggle.
probably end up seeing it.
What's the next movie we have to see?
Just like
Oh,
Solo.
Solo.
just like I talk about not seeing Venom, but I'll probably see Venom.
Yeah, you have to. I am excited. I'm not seeing any of June's movies. You guys can go do those.
Any
for
of
me.
what?
Are you not gonna go see Incredibles 2?
No,
Did you like the first one?
it's okay. I'm one of those people that felt like the movie was kind of ass backwards
Why?
because the message of the movie is like you're either born special or fuck you.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. That's the whole point of the movie. The bad guy's only motivation was that everyone said, you're not born a superhero, so you're not allowed to do this stuff. And then they come up and over again throughout the whole movie goes, you're not a real superhero. You're not a real superhero. You're not. That's like the same. And then over and over again, the tagline of the whole movie is, if everyone's special, no one is. So that means we have to be born with it. And so, like, it's so weird to me. Like, the bad guy is the guy I identify with most because he just wanted to be a good guy, and the good guy said no because you weren't born. It's like a movie made for the upper class.
Yeah, but it's because he was doing it for the wrong reasons.
When he was
too.
older. When he was younger, he just wanted to help, but he was an idiot. My point is,
That's
it's
the
like
point, though.
I see what they did with the movie. It's like I'm over analyzing it, yes, but the message is there, whether they meant it to be or not.
Thanks for tuning in to our Deadpool podcast.
Movies are
Granted, every movie's like that. I mean, what is
Movies are subjects.
what does the Lion King teach you? That there are two options to a problem: run away or murder.
That Hamlet can be solved
That
with
was an
lions.
accident. It was not meant to.
Some
be.
I
movies
know.
don't need
It's
messages.
a rip off of some Japanese
Yeah.
story. Yeah.
Like
Some
Scar was
movies
supposed to be
don't need messages to be enjoyable.
Yeah.
Don't name your son Garbage, and
Yeah.
then your other son King. I mean, that was their names.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, that was my problem with Incredibles. I didn't hate, but I did really like the movie, and I do have this weird superhero aesthetic thing that I love. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I haven't seen anything about this movie that makes me really interested in it other than that it's supposed to be, that's the thing, it's supposed to be like, Helen is gonna be the main, it's gonna be about her. I was like, great, this is gonna be great. And then the trailers show none of that. It's all about the father back home with, every trailer I've seen is like half of it, more than half of it is the father back
Well,
home
that's
with
the
the
thing
baby.
is, I think people read vague plot synopsises and base expectations around that.
Yeah,
because this movie
I
was
don't know.
never explicitly supposed to be about Helen.
Well, see, that's the
but
only
I just
thing
knew
that got,
that she was doing her own thing in the movie.
that's the only thing that got me excited about it, and I'm still seeing like too much. Granted, maybe they're just cutting it out because they don't want to spoil what she's doing.
But I think because those scenes are funny where he's stuck at home.
Yeah.
And so they decide to use those in the trailer.
Yeah.
Because you don't want a whole bunch of the action in it. And so if a lot of her part's action,
I disagree.
well, it shows a little bit
Fine.
of that, but
I'll make a concession. I will go see that, but I'm not seeing Fallen Kingdom. Screw your Jurassic Park stuff.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
gonna
go see it because Jeff Goldblum's in it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
That's the
see
only-
Fallen Kingdom. I'm not hyped about it, I guess, because it just, I don't know, like something about the new Jurassic Park. I like Jurassic World, but I have no desire to watch it again.
Man.
And I don't know, something about Fallen Kingdom just rubs me the wrong way.
I'm
not sure
excited
what it
about the
is.
new Purge movie.
I haven't seen any of them, but this is like an origin story, isn't it?
Yes. Have you seen did you see what their promo art was for the new Purge movie?
I need to see the old ones.
All the Purge movies is the same.
That's not true at all. You're absolutely wrong.
All I know is from the election day one, the one mask that's like Lady Liberty with the like light, the LED light X's, and I want that. Oh my god! Can I buy that hat?
Probably. Make the Purge great again.
Oh my
Have you seen the
God.
trailer for Black Klansman?
Mm-mm.
I don't know what that is.
It's Spike Lee's new movie. It actually looks really good. I'm very excited about
I
it.
don't know if I've ever seen a Spike Lee movie.
I have not.
Oh.
I'm aware of him.
No.
But it's about this operation back in like I think the 80s, where this black police officer infiltrated a KKK group with the help of an undercover cop.
Oh
And,
my god.
The end of the movie or the end of the trailer is the KKK group getting together and having a toast, and he says, "Let's make America great again." And I was like, "Dang, look at that social commentary."
Ooh.
That's all the Purges. Every Purge movie is a different is a political commentary about a different aspect of the social classes, and it's beautiful, and I love them. And they're pretty gory, which I don't necessarily like, but I like the way the Purge does it because they just give you that really, like in the last one, there's this like really just bitchy girl, and they just made you hate her. They did everything they could do to make you hate her, and she's getting ready to kill someone, and just out of nowhere a car comes and slams into her, and it's just the most satisfying death I've ever seen.
Jesus.
I was just so happy. Like, I literally just got up and cheered, and I was like, I'm in a movie theater, I need to sit down.
That's the thing is I would like. I feel like everyone says that they want more variety out of Purge movies, but I don't mind the fact that I think they should dwell a bit deeper into the all crime is now legal aspect instead of focusing on just murder.
That's what people would do.
Yeah, it's what people would do, but I think like, looking, you know how much you could get away with, how much money you could take.
Yeah, before someone killed you.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
It's like that's what kills me is so
That'd
many
make a good
people
heist movie.
so many people literally just
The dread
go
of dying.
they just go to murder. And so you're like, "Man, I can't do any of the actual like cool crimes."
Have you seen what the
because
new one's
someone's going to kill me.
Have you
That's
seen
the
what the new one's
thing, though,
about?
Like all crime's legal. Imagine all the sketchy shit politicians are doing in that whole night.
Have you actually seen what the new one's about? What the point of it is?
No,
They-
I've seen the trailer, but
They made the Purge basically to kill off the lower class so welfare would be cheaper, more or less. And it's actually government agents going in dressed as civilians doing it.
Man.
Yeah.
yeah, I remember seeing that in the trailer, and I was like, "Hey, that's kind of cool." But
Yeah. It's rough. Yeah, it's like I totally yeah.
I want that hat.
Anyways, Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2.
Deadpool dos, the squeak.
Well, man, there's not a lot to talk about in Deadpool. You just need to go see it. Just go see it because
Josh Brolin's a superstar.
My only complaint is I don't feel there was enough Negasonic teenage word.
Well, you gotta juggle the new characters.
I know.
It's true. Oh,
I was like,
that was the funniest
even
thing.
in the
Anyway,
fight scene.
That
Hey, Yukio.
That
Oh my
was
God.
great. That's exactly what I was about to say. I love that, like, even the last time they do it, like, he's already way off screen, and you hear him walk back and go,
Bye, Yukio.
bye,
She's precious.
and badass. Like,
Yeah.
Josh was like, what is her weapon going to be? And she pulls out the weird electric thing. He's just like, oh my god, this is amazing.
I'm not
Also-
surprised. Josh is very easy to please as a human being, though.
Yeah, he kind of is. I like how. Who was it? It was someone else that we were watching. I think it was Kyle. I don't remember. that didn't know it was going to be Juggernaut. I was like, the moment they showed the cage, it was massive. Like, this is going to be Juggernaut, isn't it? Like, this is how this is going to happen.
Everyone who
There's
was
some people-
sitting
yeah.
with us knew.
There's some people, like, before the movie came out, said Juggernaut's going to be in this movie. It's like, how did you know that? Like, where did they figure that out at? Because I had no idea.
Plot leaks.
Like, who reads plot leaks besides you?
4chan people and me.
That's just boring.
I
I want to
read
see the
plot
movie.
leaks.
Like, if I had had a plot leak and known... I'm so upset. I accidentally read Steven Universe spoilers yesterday, and I'm pissed off. And now I have them all.
Really?
I'm watching all of them just so I can catch
Spoilers
up.
don't bother me at all. I really don't care.
Good
about
spoilers bother me.
My
I read a
favorite
good
thing-
spoiler. It's a big plot thing. Kind of like if I had read that all the X-Force died before they did anything. That would have been upset because...
I bet Steven gets sucked into his tummy gym.
No. That is not what happens.
Is that not what happens?
No.
He learns to make it talk doing the stomach thing.
Main character dies, though. That was interesting. Didn't see
There's
that coming.
like.
Is this already
5.
like?
Which one?
Has this
Steven?
already aired?
Yes, it's already
Okay,
aired.
okay.
Steven Universe spoilers about to happen, I guess, because
One of the
what is this
gems?
podcast?
Well, no, I know that you had
Lars.
said.
Lars dies. He gets
Oh no.
Who's Lars?
and he gets sucked back to. They're in Homeworld, and he dies. And then Steven cries, and he becomes all pink, and his hair is a portal, just like the lion, and he's a zombie. He has like no heartbeat or anything. So that's how the lion happened, apparently.
That's weird.
That was real weird.
I
and the
know
thing is,
nothing
Steven
about this.
Steven gets back
I
on
know
the,
a vague amount to know what he's talking
Steven
about.
gets back on Earth because he goes through Lars's hair portal out of Lions, and Lars is just stuck on Homeworld now.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah. So no spoilers. Okay, Steven Universe spoilers
I'm
over.
not happy about this.
I don't know enough about anything.
There's a huge emotional arc too happening while he's this undead thing. It's pretty because he dies like saving everyone else too. It was
It
emotional.
was like me watching the ending of Gravity Falls and yelling at Bill Cipher, "Don't hurt my babies."
I haven't watched that either.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I just finished watching all of Gravity Falls again. We're so bad at this today. Deadpool. I don't know. I don't have anything else to talk about Deadpool 2. Like, it's so
I feel like there's
odd.
This is
I'll
why
probably
we should
watch
take
it again
notes.
today. I was like, I should have. Yeah, we should have taken notes. I didn't have anything to take notes for when I watched the movie. That's the thing. It's pretty straightforward for a Deadpool movie, and so
I like how just
everything they did was pretty good.
overwhelmingly bitter Ryan Reynolds is about Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
And
that.
apparently, Warner Brothers told him to give the ring back.
I saw
or
that on
something.
Twitter because I follow him. And his response was, "I'd love to. If we'd used a newer ring, we never would have been in this position to begin with."
There's a video on YouTube of Ryan Reynolds and Josh Brolin doing this segment called like Playground Insults,
I saw it.
and they're supposed to insult one another, and Josh Brolin looks at him and says, "I didn't watch Green Lantern," and Ryan Reynolds goes, "Neither did I." And he's like, "Neither did the editors."
The funny thing about that movie is looking back on it. I've seen it. I don't remember a whole lot about it. But the funny thing is the guy that plays Ryan Reynolds' friend in that movie is Taika Waititi.
Yes, I
Really?
just saw a post on Twitter about that. Maybe it
Yeah.
was from you.
I
You
don't
know,
think it's for me, but I remember that, and I was like, that's weird.
here's something we should have talked about before we started all this, but we started the podcast before we started the podcast
And we
because we suck. That's it. Jake Gyllenhaal playing Mysterio.
Oh yeah, we had some newsy. I had some newsy things I wanted to talk about.
Oh,
Let's-
yeah.
Let's do
Well,
that towards
Jake
the end of this podcast then.
Yeah.
News segment time.
News segment.
Deadpool 2 was great, 8 out of 10.
We'll come back to it
Moving on
probably.
to news stuff. Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal has apparently been casted as Mysterio in the Spider-Man sequel. And holy shit, I could not be more excited about it. Jake Gyllenhaal is the man.
There's so many, I was talking to someone. He's like, Jake Gyllenhaal's an overrated. It's like, no, he's not. He's the most underrated
He really
actor of all
is.
time. Well, not all time, but like,
Jake Gyllenhaal
Have you
is one of
seen-
the greatest actors
I always
I've
get
ever
Jake
seen.
Gyllenhaal and Ryan Gosling confused for
Really?
some reason every time. I don't know why, but in my head, I mix them two up
Jake
constantly.
Gyllenhaal's the Prince of Persia. You need to show your respect.
I never watched that movie.
Good.
Don't
Don't
watch
watch
that
that video.
Watch Prisoners and watch Nightcrawler.
Mom can't watch Jake Gyllenhaal because she watched Nightcrawler.
Those are the quintessential Jake Gyllenhaal movies: Prisoners and
Nice.
Nightcrawler.
I haven't seen Prisoners.
Prisoners is amazing.
Here, let's tie back to Deadpool. He was in Life with Ryan Reynolds, that space movie.
I haven't
Oh
seen
yeah,
that either.
I started
was-
that movie, never finished it.
We saw it in theaters, not really knowing what it was about. Woo! Ooh-wee! That movie was... Ooh-wee! That movie was intense. Like, didn't... Oh, and it ends beautifully. Predictably, but beautifully. And I'm not going to ruin it just in case you guys actually see it. It's that good of an ending.
I'm so excited we're finally getting Mysterio in a movie because Mysterio is like one of the coolest Spider-Man
I'm so
villains
happy.
ever.
Yeah, but he's also the easiest to mess up and make the dorkiest villain of all time. I'm happy that it's happening now and not earlier. Because, like,
They bet
no one takes Sandman seriously because of the Spider-Man movie. And if they'd done Mysterio, no one would take Mysterio seriously.
I want that fishbowl.
I know you're not even going to see Jake Gyllenhaal. He's going to be all like, look, I got a dome head.
I want that fishbowl. But
I would like to see him and Juggernaut fight.
I'm excited because I feel like with the addition of Mysterio, I feel like that almost confirms a Doctor Strange cameo.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Because they're both positioned in New York, and I feel like, because Mysterio's all smoke and mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing actually magical about him. He's just a stage performer that uses illusions and stuff to do crimes. And
So he's a Scooby-Doo villain.
pretty much.
Cool.
I like the idea of Spider-Man going to Strange, being like, hey, I got a magician villain, I need your help. And Strange not being able to figure out how Mysterio is doing what he's doing because he's not using magic, he's using tricks. And Doctor Strange can't pick up on that because Doctor Strange is just looking for signs of magic, and it's Spider-Man who's like, it's not magic, figures it out. And I hope that
That'd be
happens.
cool.
That'd be cool.
Except he won't say it's not magic. He'll be like, you ever seen that really old movie? I don't know, something.
What if he called The Illusionist an old movie?
Prestige.
The Prestige.
Really old movie, The Prestige.
Oh man, I'd love him to say the. Wait, which one's which? I think it's Illusionist. I'd love him to say something about the Illusionist while Bruce Banner is there, and just to see him go awkward. 'Cause isn't the Illusionist Edward Norton?
Yeah, it is. But yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal's a great actor, and I'm very happy.
They
that he's
also
Mysterio.
posted the first promo picture for that Shazam movie, and there's a few.
For what?
Is it Shazam? Is that what he's called?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that.
And they have some
Marvel.
No,
DC.
He's DC.
No, his name was Marvel.
Oh yeah, and they can't
And until Marvel said stop, and he's like, "Oh, we'll call him Shazam now."
because
True
he's
story.
also Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
There's
Oh yeah. I remember
But-
that.
God, why can't I remember his name now?
Zachary Levi.
Yeah, Zachary
Who?
Levi. He was in Thor.
Oh yeah.
He plays one of the
He
warriors.
plays Vandral.
Yeah,
He looks like John Krasinski.
But
he does a bit. But they've released the poster for it, and there's been a few set pictures. I don't know how I feel about his costume.
I mean, his name is
I mean, it
Shazam.
looks good. It looks like a comic book one, but when I see it, I don't think DC.
Shazam's more lighthearted fare anyways, because it's literally just a kid that grows up into a superhero at need be.
I mean,
so.
the poster
So he's
looks.
what is that movie called? With what's his face?
Starman?
No, is it with the Tom? Is it Tom Hanks?
Big?
Big, yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
He just wished
It
on his
could be-
Ultron that he'd have superpowers.
It could be interesting to see Warner Brothers try and do something lighthearted.
I would like to see Warner Brothers try to do something good.
Try to do something.
I'm so upset because I want Aquaman to be good. I love Aquaman. I love the actor. This should line up to be the perfect storm, but instead it's going to be the perfect storm. And I'm upset. It's just going to be a disaster.
Speaking of potential disasters, I found out yesterday, and I don't know why I hadn't found this out until yesterday, but apparently it's been a thing for a while. Damon Lindelof is doing a Watchmen series for HBO.
I don't know who that is.
I don't either.
He did Lost. He did The Leftovers. He wrote Prometheus.
Oh,
Okay, I was like, you need to start saying something good for me to be excited.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get excited about anything
But the
Lost
thing
related.
is that what he's working on, he's not doing an adaptation of Watchmen, from what I understand. He's doing something that takes place in that universe some years later, and tying it, because you know how like
after the Rorschach destroys world peace.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, the Watchmen characters and the politics of the time tie together, like some nuclear type thing. I think he's looking at current events and trying to tie all that together into making a new story with new heroes.
Kind of like how what was it, Iron Man 3 sort of redid Mandarin to be more modern.
So I'm cautiously optimistic about it. Of course, I'm not a Watchmen elitist anyways.
I'm not either. I'm one of those people that are like, I like the movie better.
I like the comic and I like the movie for its own. They're both their own thing, and I like them both for doing. What they do.
One of the
the
characters'
movie
name
ended
is
better.
Lori, and I'm okay with that.
I thought
She's cool.
Dr. Manhattan's story arc was better the way it ended in the movie.
Yeah.
It felt, the ending for the graphic novel felt a bit convoluted and weird. Like, we need to unite the Earth together on a common enemy so we can have world peace. How do we do that? Space octopus!
I mean, basically.
That's exactly what happens. And the whole world goes, that's a bad guy! We should fight it! And they fight together and world peace happens until Rorschach ruins it. But I felt that was weird. In the
Well, the
movie,
thing about that
have you seen the
is-
movie?
It's been a hot minute.
In the movie, he frames one of the good guys as doing something bad, and the whole world hates him. And the good guy who hated humanity for all these reasons or didn't care about it was like, you know what? I'm okay with this. This helps everyone, and he leaves. And I was like, that was a really nice little way of thinking.
Which the thing about the ending to Watchmen.
The rest of the movie is kind of shit, but
it's open to interpretation whether or not anyone believes Rorschach, because he leaves his journal with a right-wing tabloid.
Yeah, with the laser eye from Supernatural. They have the laser eyes. The shapeshifter episode, the big guy.
Oh, I love him.
But
He's the one with the robots, and he holds up the Cybermen.
Yeah.
a lot of people. The thing about the movie ending for a lot of people, me, I personally don't care, because like I said, they both work for their own reasons.
Yeah, I agree.
Is that the Dr. Manhattan one wouldn't work as well as the comic book one would, because even though it's a common enemy, eventually the Russians would probably be like, hey,
Yeah.
Dr. Manhattan was American, which basically proves the point of the movie anyways, that peace isn't sustainable.
Yeah.
So,
Well, maybe that's the way he'll go then.
maybe.
Who knows? Or they might not even mention it at all.
We may. I guess we'll have to wait till it comes out. I don't know when it's going to come out, but, I mean, cautiously optimistic. We'll see.
Cool.
What's it gonna air on?
Williams.
What was it gonna
So
air
HBO.
on?
HBO.
Speaking of HBO,
I mean, if there was a channel for Watchmen to be on, it would be
True.
HBO.
But speaking of HBO just recently aired their Fahrenheit 451 remake. And it has really bad reviews, apparently. I watched half of it,
But
but
Lori liked it.
I loved it, okay? I've only seen half of it because I came in after work and was trying to watch it, and I was like, I gotta sleep. I need
That's
a
the thing,
nap.
is that it's a TV movie that for
Right.
some reason everyone was convinced was a miniseries.
What?
Yeah, I could have swore
Even
it
though
was
it
a
was never
miniseries.
marketed as a miniseries, because I went back and watched the trailer and everything, and
I
they
could
I was
have
reading. I missed what we're
swore-
talking about.
Fahrenheit
the
451.
new Fahrenheit
Oh,
451 movie.
I could have
Just a
swore
movie, yeah.
I saw somewhere that, like, on the trailer that it was going to be a miniseries.
You're not the only one. Everyone thought it was.
Oh, that's
and
not
then
nearly as funny.
we all
But-
looked back on everyone looked back at the marketing and realized they had never marketed it as a miniseries.
We
I guess
just-
because it was on HBO,
we just
everyone just assumed.
They incorporated social media more into
I forgot that was
it.
out. I need to watch that. We could have done a whole episode on that. Oh well.
I'm still down to do it. I'm
Yeah, maybe.
still down to do it because
I need to read the book.
Michael B. Jordan is fantastic.
Did you see what the guy making Watchmen posted?
I read all that yesterday.
It's like, dear fans of Watchmen, hello there. My name is Damon, and I am a writer. I am also the unscrupulous bastard currently defiling something that you love.
That's
'Cause
beautiful.
Lindelof gets a lot of shit from people because a lot of people didn't like what he did with Prometheus. A lot of people didn't like what he did with Star Trek Into Darkness.
I didn't see that.
Have I seen that
You haven't
one?
seen Star Trek Into Darkness?
No, I kept meaning to, and it just
Which
never
one
happens.
is that?
It's the one with Khan.
Okay. I've
Oh
seen
wait,
that
no,
one.
I have
That's the
seen
one
Into
with
Darkness.
Benedict.
I haven't seen the other. What's the other one?
Beyond.
Oh, Beyond. Yeah, my bad.
The
Yeah,
new-
I
it's-
didn't have. I had some issues with Into Darkness, but no major issues.
But he just gets a lot of flack because he tries new things and fans don't like it.
I,
He's just like,
oh
"Okay,
yeah, a lot
whatever."
of people didn't like Into Darkness because Khan wasn't the Khan that we saw on the
Yeah.
TV show. But like, this is like what happened if a bad person found Khan and not someone that was genuinely trying to help him.
Yeah.
And so you saw a completely different. Well, you didn't saw a completely different Khan. You saw the actual Khan with his facade gone. But
Which the funny thing
Whatever.
about that was that a lot of people
he just takes stuff away from William as he grabs it, so he doesn't make noise.
hated the idea because apparently Benicio del Toro was originally cast as Khan and then dropped out for unknown reasons, and they cast Benedict Cumberbatch.
That would have made more sense, but
And that was the biggest thing some people had with the movie was that Benedict Khan would have still been Khan because Khan still existed before the timeline split happened. So it would have still been the Khan we knew, and I think a lot of people.
yeah, but
I
would've-
still.
you could argue that we should have just went back in time and got young William Shatner because
Yeah, that's good.
Chris Pine doesn't look like William Shatner.
I remember
Yeah,
whenever
but
that
it's
movie.
weird going from Khan to white British man.
This is true.
I agree, but I
Because-
also felt like
'cause
he
literally,
did it. I think
When
he did
that
a good
movie,
job.
when
Yeah.
that movie was coming out, you showed me, and I never remember the actor's name ever. But you were like, "This guy would have been a perfect Khan," and I was like, because I love the actor, and I never remember. I'm gonna find him.
I
My
have
thing
no
is-
memory of this.
I
I
still
was in a.
hold...
We were in the drive-through at the Hardee's in Pinson. Why I know all this information? It was all of us in Josh's old Jeep.
I still think that it shouldn't have been Khan. I still think it should have just been another person like him because they're like basically super soldiers. I thought it should have just been another super soldier, just not Khan. But I mean, it's a fine movie. I don't really care.
Yeah, I mean, it was just the second movie in a rebooted
It
series.
was
of-
him.
Oh yeah, man, I'm a genius.
Who is that? Oh yeah, Lou
Uh,
Diamond Phillips.
Yep, Lou
Philippe.
Diamond
Another very underrated actor.
Yeah.
Very
He's barely
underrated.
he's barely in anything, and I feel like he does a really good job. Yeah, because he looks like Khan. You could put a white wig on him, he would have looked like Khan.
Like, I just remember you showing me that, and not only is that guy a fantastic actor who could have definitely carried the role of Khan, he would have been awesome.
Welcome to Nerdly Kingdom, where we talk about a million things.
It's been a while since our last podcast.
It's been a while since, yeah, it really has.
I still have 2 podcasts that I can now edit. So
Alright, fine.
that wasn't the podcast on like what Rampage and whatever the other one was we did that day.
Pacific Rim.
Yeah,
Tomb
those-
And then
Raider.
Quiet Place.
Quiet
Yeah, those aren't
Place.
up. Sorry. They'll come up
There
eventually.
are 2 things we recorded before Infinity War.
I'm probably gonna just call them like the late podcast, and in parentheses, we may be late, but we're not pregnant. Something like that.
That's a good
We
joke.
skipped our last 2 podcasts.
So our podcasts are late, but we're not pregnant. We swear, something like that.
Yeah.
So Deadpool 2.
Yeah, let's full circle. I didn't know that Juggernaut was Xavier's stepbrother until that movie.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a thing.
I didn't know that was a
It's a
thing.
thing.
I don't know
I'm
much.
actually surprised they mentioned
I
it.
don't know much about X-Men. The only thing I know about X-Men is the movies, which is why in Dark Phoenix, I'm hoping that Dark Phoenix movie happens, it stays canon when Disney gets Fox, and that Cyclops dies in that movie. That way I don't have to suffer through his insufferableness
Oh,
throughout
yeah.
the rest of them.
Brad
Like-
hates Cyclops.
Did you see that? I posted a thing
I
on
love Cyclops.
I posted a thing on Instagram about it actually. I was playing Lego Marvel,
Yes, I saw
Yeah.
that.
and I was just
Joss
destroying
Whedon wrote a
Cyclops.
really good
over-
Cyclops.
Who? What?
When?
Astonishing X-Men.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
That was the comic series that Joss Whedon did. His
for him.
Cyclops is nice. I like his Cyclops.
See, I liked Cyclops, but that's because I like the actor who played him. And
I don't understand people's problems with Cyclops. I've never. I mean, the
He's
James
a right old
Marsden,
chap, and he's got some great eyewear.
the James
Like,
Marsden Cyclops are kind of dicks, but I mean, comic Cyclops, it's just
I don't know anything about comic Cyclops.
I mean-
nothing like the movie
I mean,
Cyclops.
Brad's kind of a dick, and we let him hang out.
That's the point.
Because I have the microphone. The moment one of you guys buy the microphone, I'm out of here.
Cyclops is a good character.
I
when
like
they
his
actually
brother
do him
better,
right.
but
Who is his brother? Johnny Two Eyes?
no.
Cable's his son.
Jesus Christ, that scared me so much.
Yeah, Cable is Scott Summers' son.
And
I don't know why that scared me so much, but it did.
on the X-Men, I don't think it's First Class. It's the other one.
First Class.
Is it
yeah.
First Class? Yeah, he's the one that shoots the lasers out of his chest and he can't control it.
Pew 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 pew.
I love Cyclops' storyline.
He had to put little Rubik quartz glasses on his nipples.
I
He
love,
uses pasty.
I love the storyline because him and his brother both have the same power but can't control it because they had to share a parachute when their plane was crashing when it got attacked by aliens. I was like, Jesus, Marvel. Like, good God.
That's like in
good
the
God
comics.
Almighty.
The true meaning of control your tits.
Yeah. In the comics, Xavier becomes crippled because a UFO falls on him.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Marvel is really obsessed with like
No joke.
aliens.
Spaceship lands on him, breaks his back.
Breaks his back, but Captain Marvel gets powers. That's just not fair.
Well, at least X already had powers.
Had powers, yeah, sure. I
Powers.
guess. I really like. Oh, man, we're so off subject.
Why did he not see it coming?
I love how he got crippled in the movie. He's not. He doesn't see the future.
He could if he tried. Why couldn't he have used his mind reading and heard, like, I'm crashing?
He can't move stuff with his mind. He can just read minds. Stupid.
But
Yeah.
no, he could, like,
Jean
read...
Grey can do that, but Jean Grey can't control any of it without going, "Oh no, I'm crazy," because for some reason they tried to suppress half my personality instead of actually getting me proper mental health, and so now I have a split personality that wants to kill everyone. Oh no. Boy, doesn't that just fit modern society.
That would have made an amazing Frozen movie.
I mean, that's what happened in the X-Men 3.
That's the state of film nowadays. Is that was good social commentary. Good thing it's a movie and not real. That's how most people. I think
Yeah.
most people just completely miss the point of
Well,
movies.
there was the whole...
completely.
There's been a whole thing recently about stop trying to put politics into our comic books, and I'm like...
Stop voting for people that are so bad that we
but the
have to
thing
put
is,
them in our comic
The
books.
thing is like several comic books, like characters and stuff, were literally created as
Right.
social commentary.
Captain America.
Captain America, the X-Men
yeah.
is all social commentary.
He brings that up in the
He
Deadpool 2
does,
movie.
yeah.
Hey, we brought it back. What do you think about that new horror movie, X-Men?
New Mutants.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it'll be all right.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about it because they pushed it back a whole year. But
Yeah, I did too until just now when I typed in X-Men because I can't spell. And all the list of all the X-Men movies just came up, and it was the
I
last
think it'll
one there.
be okay. I mean, I'm not too psyched
has-
about it, but I'll still watch it.
It has some people in it.
I hope it has people in it. If not, it's just gonna be videos of scenes.
Or could I have a whole bunch of comic book elitists in it because they're not people.
It's a whole bunch of comic book elitists walking around going, "This isn't how it's supposed to be."
Oh my gosh!
It's like literally the equivalent of like an LA tour. They're just walking around the set complaining.
I'm gonna start making a video series called Nerd Elitist, and I'm gonna play a Nerd Elitist character.
Antonio Banderas has been cast as an undisclosed villain to appear in a post-credits scene.
Cool, I guess. How come we ain't had no Mr. Sinister yet?
Maisie Williams is gonna be in it.
Yeah.
Aww.
Who
I
cares?
feel like there's someone else that I knew that was in that.
You're mean. She's precious.
I am
I don't know
mean.
who that is.
Who?
Her.
She
I just, for
was
some
in
reason-
Game of Thrones, and she was also in Clara's last season of Doctor Who.
I don't know. Like
Capaldi's last season of Doctor Who.
I feel like it doesn't annoy me when people get excited and surprise actors are in movies, but I'm just always like, yeah, it's an actor, it's their job.
Why do you gotta call me out like this?
It's
There's
not
people-
specifically you.
We
Well-
just got done with him going, "Oh, Jake Gyllenhaal's gonna be in this movie."
This is true.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's like, oh, that's an actor or actress I really like.
Yeah, no, I
They're
get it.
gonna be in something. I get to see them really soon.
I do it all the time too.
Yeah.
And it bothers me when I do it. Just
There's
there's a
Awkward
movie.
silence.
I saw a trailer for a movie called
Did you?
City of Lies, I think. It's about the police
I'm so hoping
officers
you're
or
gonna
the
say City of
detectives
Heroes.
that were investigating Biggie's murder. It's got Johnny Depp in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man, I would love to have a conversation with past us and tell past us that we're gonna hate Johnny Depp. We wouldn't believe us.
We
I
go.
wouldn't have believed it. 'Cause
I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't.
I would have been like, okay.
Is Tim
Because
Burton gonna have to divorce him too? He's just gonna be left with
That's
no one.
when I got back on Twitter. I was going through my tweets and I found one that I'd forgotten I did. That was Johnny Depp and Tim Burton haven't worked a lot together recently. Did they break up? Did Depp beat him too?
Oh,
And I was like,
my
damn, I'm funny.
God. That's terrible. Well, you know.
No, what happened is this: Johnny Depp was going on a trip and he tried to smuggle Tim Burton into the country.
Well, no. Speaking of like,
Get him out of here.
Speaking of him being violent, it's like apparently he like assaulted somebody on the recent set of the movie he's doing. Like,
No,
it was
that's
a
the movie
criminal-
that the trailer I saw for.
Okay.
They'd already filmed that. Was from like months ago.
Yeah,
and
but-
they're just now talking about it. But yeah.
Well, we haven't recorded in a hot minute. And the last one was all about Marvel.
Lori,
so-
don't come at me all aggressive like that.
I came out to have a good time, and honestly, I just feel so attacked.
Did you
I
see
came
my
out to get
retweet?
attacked, and I'm honestly
Did you see that
having
thing
a
I
good
retweeted that
time.
was like an
Oh.
Instagram story that had a picture of Newt Scamander on it that said, "What's the worst thing a witch or wizard could cast?" And the person that posted it
It
was
was
Johnny Depp.
Yes. Oh man, that was rough.
Oh well.
But it's like if I went back in time, looked at myself, and said, "One day, your response to both Johnny Depp and Harry Potter is gonna be,"
Ugh.
then yeah,
It's
I'd
coming
be
from
like-
the woman who had a Johnny Depp poster on her wall.
I did. I had a
Yeah.
Johnny Depp poster on my wall for years,
I mean-
and I finally, whenever all of that with like Amber Heard and everything like that, I took it down. And I put up my Deadpool poster.
I mean, there's only so much cocaine you can snort before you just start becoming violent.
My Deadpool poster is awesome too because it's like a torso shot, and he's got his gun right in front of his crotch, and it says, "Wait till you get a load of me."
Jesus.
It's a great poster.
There's no other movie that could market like that and get away with it. Maybe if they made another Austin Powers movie,
Maybe.
which I really
It's
hope
like,
they don't do.
Is this a
Don't listen to
Deadpool
me.
tagline or is this an Austin Powers tagline?
Is this a pigeon?
I don't know why that meme's come full circle and is like back and
Oh, yeah.
more than ever.
Oh, what was
Is
it?
this a boyfriend?
I saw one and it was like Taurus and it was like a fact or something. It says, "Is this a personal attack?" And I was like, "Oh
I
my
love
god, I
how
feel so attacked."
that we're just never gonna get whatever. I love how that meme, like all memes, is like everyone's like, "Oh, this meme is great," until it starts getting too real, and now everyone's just trying to avoid it again. Like, what was the one Alicia posted? It was.
I
it
like
was-
the Patrick meme from earlier this year.
Which
Yeah.
one's the Patrick meme?
The one where he's like,
Oh yeah, because that's the thing. Every year there's a SpongeBob meme. Every year.
we had two back to back from the same scene.
Okay, here we go. He's got a John Deere camo cap
Oh,
on.
no.
He goes, and it's revving your truck in the Walmart parking lot. Is this what women find attractive?
God, I did see that one.
Okay, listeners. I don't know if this happens all over the country or if it's just a southern thing that we have to fucking deal with. But if you're listening and you're an adult male that drives a truck and revs it up at stoplights, everyone fucking hates you. Just a little tip for you.
Those are noisy
Everyone hates
bad.
you. No one
No,
cares.
I'm moving them because I don't want
Okay.
them to get knocked over again.
And you know what? Your truck probably sucks.
I love every time.
I've
Trucks
been
are
putting
durable.
everything in the chair.
That'll work for now.
Trucks are durable, convenient pieces of machinery.
I used to have a
But
Jeep.
I mean, that's all they are.
Alicia, when we were last time we saw went to the movies, there was this truck and it was like boosted up like ridiculously high, and the wheels were almost as tall as me. And Alicia's like, "Oh, they're compensating for something." I was like, "Don't be rude. They could just be stupid."
I'll never forget my old Geo Tracker. The muffler was messed up, So, and the exhaust was messed up, and so that thing was so loud. And so these people would come up and they'd be like revving their engines, and I'd be getting gas, and so I'd finish and I'd crank up my car, and all of a sudden this tiny tractor just vroom, and they'd all turn and look, and I'm like, I'm not trying to be a dick, I just haven't fixed my car. Like,
You should have challenged them.
and so I could sit there and like rev my poor little tractor's engine, and it was just so loud.
You know, you can actually get a.
That trucker was a beast, though. So.
Apparently, you can get pulled over for.
You can, I did.
Yeah, well, yeah, for if your car's too loud and you're purposely revving and stuff like that. Like I've had someone that did that at a stoplight, and the cop pulled him over for improper muffler.
Yeah, I got
remember
pulled
you
over.
telling me that.
I got pulled over for improper muffler,
Isn't
and
it-
one of my headlights was out. He let me go with a warning. But yeah, so yeah, that is a thing. I
Yep.
got pulled over for it. I'm in the same boat as dudes who have way too big of trucks. That's a fact about me.
How do people still
I've
people
told
that
myself,
don't need a truck buy trucks?
And then they buy truck nuts.
And then they're like, man, gas is so expensive. It's like, yeah, when you get like half a mile to a gallon, yeah, it's pretty expensive. When you start measuring it gallons to the mile, not miles to the gallon, you've got problems.
Not wrong.
Trucks are stupid.
Well, yeah, until you need one.
Yeah.
Smart car is not going to pull you out of a ditch.
That's what I'm saying. Like, trucks are practical pieces of machinery. They're convenient. They're nice. But, you know, just don't drive them around and rev them because no one cares. And it's annoying.
You're not cool.
And, you
I'm
know,
gonna
next
cut out
time
this whole
I
part.
see you on the road, on a back road, I'm not driving halfway off the road for you. You can do it next time. And if I hit you, good. I don't care. You should have moved out of my way.
Anyway,
That's all the biggest problem I always had when I drove on Spunky Hollow was all the people with big trucks taking up the whole road.
My road's like that.
And I would have to...
You have to go like halfway off the road and still
Yeah.
pray that they're not going to hit
Well, the
you.
thing is, though, they're the truck. They're the one that's more able to drive off the road. You just stop.
That's what I'm saying. So I said next
I've
time
started
it
doing that.
happens,
I
I'm
just
just gonna keep
stop,
going.
and then they have to like go around me.
I'm just gonna keep going next time, and they can be the one that gets off the
The
road
joy
for me.
of the joy of living down back roads is experiencing stuff like this on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. Trucks are stupid. All right.
And I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Country Life.
Coming up on Country Life.
I don't know.
Sometimes when you're at the gas station, someone in their truck leaves their window down, and you hear their country music. There's nothing worse.
It's a bit extreme. But yeah, we kind of talked about the movie this time. Woo, go guys.
We were pretty on topic.
It really is the problem with this movie. Yeah, well, maybe. I don't know.
No,
I could
we
argue.
were.
We talked about, we never actually talked about the movie. We talked about everything else that the movie, what happened because of the movie.
That's talking about the movie, though.
Yeah. We don't really talk
8
about
out of
the movie.
10. I liked it.
If you want a movie review, that's apparently not what we do.
Yeah, we don't know what we do.
Well,
but
I mean, we
try.
do when it's a movie
We don't really
review, but
try,
when it's
but we're here.
when it's a Marvel movie, it just becomes future speculation. The podcast.
Are talking about trucks on back roads?
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah, that part's not gonna make it to the podcast. They're gonna be like,
Yeah,
"We
it
didn't talk
will.
about that."
Yeah,
no,
it
no.
will.
Well, I'm gonna cut it for
Are you
time.
really?
Trucks.
I've done it before.
On dirt roads.
On dirt roads.
New hit
Gravel
TV series on Fox.
Under tires. Speaking
I guarantee you, if that was a thing, everyone in Locust
Yeah,
would
but
watch
Speaking
it.
of Fox, just really quickly, Fox, the TV Fox,
Yeah.
which is the same as the other Foxes, they canceled both Lucifer and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. They're bringing Last Man Standing to their station to air it.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're bringing back, I guess apparently they bought Last Man Standing or something,
Okay,
and so
cool.
they're going to start airing
I
it.
guess Tim Allen needs work too.
But
I've never watched it. My mom watched it though. She said it was really funny.
I always felt like it tried too hard to be Home Improvement, but Home
Really?
Improvement felt
I was
more
actually
real.
surprised at how many seasons it did have because when it was canceled, I thought it was only like a year or two old.
No,
But
it had been on for a hot
a
minute, which
while time.
baffled me why people were complaining. I was like, it had a pretty
Yeah,
good
that's what I
run
was
for a
saying.
sitcom.
'Cause I was like, this is for a TV show, this is decent run.
But Fox picked it up. Fox canceled Lucifer. Fox canceled Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Within a day, NBC had already announced they're picking up Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which apparently makes sense because NBC Studios is the one who does Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so now they're going to get all the money from it. But
I don't know.
people have been trying to get Warner Brothers to pick up Lucifer because apparently Warner Brothers was doing the same thing with Lucifer like NBC did.
Why? What's the benefit of that? I don't understand
know,
the inner
but
machinations of a TV studio.
But Warner Brothers will not pick it up, even though Lucifer would work as a CW show, because Warner Brothers decided they want to air the new crappy Charm reboot instead of playing Wayward Sisters, because God knows that we need a Charmed reboot.
Oh, God. I like Charmed, and I still
I'm
think we need
going
a
to
Charmed
watch
reboot.
it because I want to give it a chance, but
won't.
I'm so bitter about
You
it.
know, I think some TV shows should just die. Because you either get really good TV shows, or you get really good TV shows that stretched out,
Way too long.
that got really bad, and then you get really good TV shows that they do a new season of, like 8 years later, and it's mediocre.
Yeah.
So some stuff just needs to be left alone.
The last rebooted female trio with powers was Powerpuff Girls, and it was garbage.
But yeah,
I don't trust this.
It's a modern reboot of Charmed. However, there's going to be I don't know what station's doing it, but the Deborah Harkness Discovery of Witches books series, they're making a TV show out of it. And
But-
it's going to have Alex Kingston in it.
In regards to Brooklyn
River
Nine-Nine,
from Doctor Who.
That's
I guess
cool.
Fox realized they couldn't have such a tolerant TV show on their news station. Or on
Yeah,
their TV
people
station.
were saying, Rosa comes out as bisexual and then Fox cancels it. How about that?
They did the same thing to some other show, didn't they?
Yes.
I remember reading about that.
I can't remember what it was.
There was some other show, I think it was Fox, aired where one of the characters came out as bisexual and they canceled
Really?
it. Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen a few things like a hashtag to do with Brooklyn Nine-Nine that's called 6 Seasons in a Movie. So I think
That is Community.
no, it's been referred to with Brooklyn Nine-Nine too, or did they do that with?
started with Community.
Did
yeah.
it really? Okay. And so it's like when I saw that, I didn't know if that meant NBC was picking it up for like another season so that they can kind of have some closure to it and then do like a movie, which I'd be cool with.
That kind of just became a TV show in-joke thing for when stuff gets canceled.
Gotcha.
Because around the time Community
God, I
got
love
picked
Community
back up,
so much.
They had the tagline 6 seasons in a movie, and so now I think they're just doing it with everything.
Gotcha.
I know season 5 of Arrested Development comes out at the end of the month, and I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, obviously, but I'm just kind of skeptical because I didn't.
Couldn't find it.
I watched season 4. Season 4 came out in 2013, and it just wasn't. It didn't feel like Arrested Development. And
I never
earlier
finished
this month, they released a remix of season 4 that followed the same, because it was structured where instead of, like it wasn't structured like the show was. Instead, it focused on the individual characters, and it was just something was off about it. And even when they re-edited the season to fit the format, there's just something off about it.
It's kind of like that one season of Community that the writer is a different guy.
Yeah.
Or something.
And it's just and even with the rest of Development, they still have the same writers and everything. But it's one of those things where it's been so long that you have to get back into a certain mindset. And there's some elements of season 4 that I liked that worked. There's some elements I hated about season 4. And I don't know. Like, I felt like now, because I was excited about the revival in 2013, but now I look back at it and I'm just like, they should have just left it alone. They should have just let it be the first 3 seasons.
It's like there's sometimes where it's like you want that revival and you're excited for a brief moment, and then it finally comes out and you're like,
because at first it was going to be a movie, because they were like, we're going to continue Arrested Development as a movie, and then they decided we wrote too many different plot lines, so we're just going to do another series. We're going to do another season, and we're like, oh, okay, cool. And it's just weird because it's supposed to work as a new season telling its own story and a catch up. Here's what they've been doing for the past 6 years. Yeah. And I don't know. It just didn't work for me.
Yeah, I never finished it.
It's
I
still my
haven't
favorite
watched
TV
any
show of
of
all
it.
time. The first 3 seasons are still my favorite TV show ever. And
Josh is watching them right now.
I'm hoping season 5 is able to get that feeling back. But other than that, I don't know. That's Williams' TV show corner section.
So
I haven't
this
watched
has been
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Deadpool,
So
X-Men, Johnny Depp TV shows.
John Wick got
John
mentioned
Wick.
briefly.
Not enough.
Star Trek got mentioned briefly.
Not enough.
Briefly.
But
I'll just put an asterisk.
Williams' music section. I don't know, listeners, if anyone listens to music, but Arctic Monkeys.
Here it comes.
Arctic Monkeys released a new album, and their first album in 5 years,
Interesting.
and it's amazing. A lot of people don't like it, but I love it.
Is it-
Absolutely love it.
I like to imagine that Arctic Monkeys is just a cover band for the 80s Monkeys, or 60s Monkeys, and they're wearing like parkas.
They're in the Arctic.
There's actually a lyric in the second song on the track, 1 Point Perspective, where he says, "I'm gonna form a covers band and all." So good job, Brad.
Hashtag confirmed.
It's a good album. A lot of people didn't like it. I loved it. It was great. I think a lot of people were expecting AM2, which their last album was AM, and it's not AM2. It's
It's like
Lori's
stuff like that.
Lori's
Josh.
music corner. I've been listening to my oldies mix on Spotify. It's
Lori,
been
get out of high school.
top-notch. No, not like high school oldies, like oldies, like
Like,
anything pre
gospel.
before I was born. No,
Josh?
not gospel.
Josh was letting me listen to. I've actually listened to all of the Panic at the Disco's Pretty Odd album.
Oh,
I
you would
was
like
like,
that album.
No, I was like, it fucking sucks.
Do you not
It's like
like
I hate
Pretty Odd?
this,
You
and I
don't
hate
like
everything
it?
about it. It's like it's not Panic at the Disco. It's like Chillax at the Square Dance. It's awful.
That one's
I'm
that
personally
one's,
offended.
me too. I
That's
feel so
the best
attacked.
one.
That's the one Ryan wrote most of.
Yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
what he said. Like Ryan at the Square Dance. That's what that is.
That's
like,
the only one I have a vinyl of because I love
That
that.
album-
It's
one so
like
that
much.
one-
every
was like-
song is just like this major keyed bouncy
It's meant
like
to be-
you can every song you listen to you can do that. You just bounce up and
It's
down
meant
with it.
to be
This
heavily
was-
inspired by the Beatles
and the
isn't
Beach
it?
Boys.
Oh!
This
Beach
was,
Boys.
There's no band on this earth I hate more than
I
the
know,
Beatles.
I know, but because
Man.
of that, it also
Don't
has a bit of a
even.
Monkeys vibe. That's what I was getting
They're
at.
they're so different. They're
there's
not
more
anything the
Beach
same.
Boys vibes.
Like I
we don't
I
need
actually,
to start
I-
getting into this music section.
We'll
William
argue
has some-
about this
But
when
9 in
the
the
podcast
afternoon
is
gives
over.
me life. You can just cut this into 2 and we'll be good for another, 5 months?
Not-
It's just an acquired taste, I guess. That you just.
That's the stupidest thing. I hate people
But
listen to acquired taste. So
It
you're-
is because I love the
the thing
Because
Beatles.
is-
you admit that it's garbage, but you're doing it anyways. People are like, oh, I drink beer. It's an acquired taste. It's like basically it's Stockholm syndrome for
You
beer.
used to do that
Not
with
really.
energy drinks?
Yeah.
No, I like energy drinks.
Not really.
When
It's
Bukas
just.
were out,
Yeah,
we all said
yeah,
it was
but
an
when-
acquired taste.
No, yeah, but it had a purpose, and when good energy
Purpose
drinks,
was to get us pumped!
when good energy
Like,
drinks
some
came out,
people
if
just-
you had
Yeah.
if you had a caffeine-free White
It's
Monster,
div-
I would drink it.
Oh, yeah.
It's just divisive.
But no,
divisive music. Some people like it. Some people don't.
I'm not shocked Brad hates it because literally
Oh,
whenever
no,
I
yeah,
used to
I-
do
I
car
knew.
mixes in high school, I had a few of the songs on there and every time they come on Brad would complain. So
The Beatles would not have been what they turned into without the Beach Boys. This is a true fact.
hashtag
And
true fact.
Is a rant I will defend for the majority of my life that
We're about
the
to run out of
Beach
time.
Boys do not get enough credit for what they did for music. And it's
I
probably
love the Beach Boys.
it's probably
so-
my widest opinion as a human being defending the Beach Boys as the pinnacle of good music. Because I love the Beach Boys.
Same.
But yeah, the reason
I don't
because
really
you've
like
got
music,
early
so
Beatles.
what do I know?
You've got early Beatles stuff, and then you have stuff like Magic Mystery Tour, Abbey Road, and White Album, and then that other one, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club.
Mm-hmm.
That whole era of Beatles wouldn't have happened without the Beach Boys because of Pet Sounds.
Oh. See,
Basically, the Beatles are credited with that whole progression, with that whole revival, or not really revival, but experimental phase of music where they were experimenting with music progression and what you can do with songs. And they get all the credit for that, but the Beach Boys started that with Pet Sounds, and then Brian Wilson went down a fucking insane hole for like years
Yeah.
with Smile, and then Smile never released, and Beatles got all the glory. Beach Boys are better.
It was only maybe a year or so ago that I realized how, like, old the Beach Boys are. I didn't realize that their music was that old until I was adding it to my Spotify mix, and I was like, this doesn't make sense to me. I didn't realize this was the same time as this. And my mom was like, yeah, done. I was like, okay, first of all, you don't get to judge me. You are blood. And everything. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't realize they were like 60s. I thought that they were at least like mid 70s.
It's all right. I know nothing about music, and the music I do know I get judged for. I don't think Dakota has ever been more disappointed in me than when I knew the words to my song Knows What You Did in the Dark, and I was like, yeah, it's the only real song by them I know. And Dakota just looked at me like I had just offended his religion.
I was gonna say, you know, Dance Dance.
I don't even like
I know
Fall Out Boy
of
that
Dance
much.
Dance.
I mean, I don't.
Fall Out Boy was the pinnacle of me, like, being who I am today. Like, before Fall Out Boy, I was, like, country music.
Really?
Yeah.
I think we all were at one point. Maybe
But
not
it was
Brad.
like,
Yeah.
Fall Out Boy
Brad
was...
didn't start listening to music until like...
I didn't start listening to
Brad's
music until I started
music-
hanging out with you guys.
Brad's music was the Gorillas and the Final Fantasy soundtrack, which I still
It was
have
like-
both of those CDs at my
That's
house.
not-
And System of a Down.
That's
And
not a
System of a
bad.
Down.
That's not a bad 3 areas of music to listen to. I never started listening to music until I started hanging out with you guys. So,
You know, Jack's Films that wouldn't have a YouTube channel if it wasn't for the Final Fantasy X soundtrack.
so my whole taste in music is
Came from my car.
came from your car. You and Mr. Taylor are responsible for my taste in music.
Big-
I
you a big
molded
Fish fan?
mines.
No,
Okay, we gotta wrap this up.
he
We're
is the
running
one
out of
that got
time.
me into Radiohead, though. So
Nice.
You are white.
I'm probably the whitest person I know.
Whitest kid you know.
If I could grow a mustache, I'd do that whole complete like dad look. That's my only goal in life right now is to, by the time I'm 40, achieve that look.
I like to imagine that your beard would still grow out red like your hair used to.
It does.
It would.
At least this part does.
Okay, anyways. I'm
Thank
gonna
you
wrap this up. Thank you.
for-
If you've made it this far, thanks.
We're sorry.
This is supposed to be a Deadpool. We gotta start taking notes more, but we had to push back the original recording of this because someone was too busy.
Yeah.
On my
Busy.
off day, I'm supposed to be doing stuff today.
I
and we're-
woke up so early and sat in the living room going, so are we recording or not? And no
I think I was
response. I'm
asleep.
like, look, I'm going to head over there if somebody doesn't tell me something.
and
I didn't go to
managed
sleep till 3 o'clock that morning.
And
I didn't
then-
get off work till 1.
I think I may have went back to bed and I couldn't sleep, so I got back up because I bought myself an Xbox, and so I play games.
And
I only
then-
have 2, but I
Hey.
try.
Whatever works.
I don't think I was really at home much that day, except for the end of the day, because I did a bunch of stuff.
It's
that
all
day.
good. I used it to do chores.
Anyways, wrapping up.
Oh,
Thank you for listening to
if
our
you guys
podcast.
have any comments.
Thank you.
Well, wait,
or
I do this every
anything-
time. I forget. William, what's the question of the day?
Oh.
Question of the week. Question of the month, depending on when I get this out.
What did I ask earlier?
I don't. Oh.
I don't remember.
Oh, what was the question you asked earlier? Like-
What is up, dog?
No.
That's last week's.
That
Yeah.
was last week's.
How many licks? No, let's not do that. That's unoriginal.
Yeah, shit.
What?
Who? Okay, question of the week. Who's your least favorite common X-Men?
God, that's such a real question.
Who do you
I know.
like more, the Beach Boys or the Beatles?
That's more of our kind of question.
All right. So,
But I want to find more characters to love to hate. Or hate to love, depending on the character.
Go
so
for,
who would win in a fight? The Beach Boys, the Beatles, or the X-Men?
Who would win in a fight? Paul McCartney, Brian Wilson, or Scott Summers?
So, So, I guess answer all or any of those questions
At
if
these
you want
places?
to. Yeah, at these places. You can email us at nerdlykingdom@gmail.com. You can catch us on Instagram at thenerdlykingdom. You can get us on Twitter at @the_nerddom. You can find us on Facebook at the Nerdly Kingdom. Or you can just not answer, and we'd be really sad.
Yeah.
Or
if you want, you can find us individually and answer on those two. If you find them
You
great.
can reach me by playing a copy of Pet Sounds in your home, and I'll kick down your door and tell you all about how the Beach Boys.
I thought you were gonna say you can play it. If you play it backwards, it summons you.
It summons me.
You hear William go, what do you want?
I'll just kick down your door and go on that Beach Boys rant I went on just a few minutes ago, and then leave. That's how
More
you.
in depth with sources and everything.
Yeah, I have a whole graph set up.
He's got a whole dissertation.
I go through the entire history of Brian Wilson's smile sessions.
You have a PhD.
This is what he was trying to do.
You have
Do you not get it? It's deep.
you have a doctorate in music history.
Yeah.
Anyways,
It's on Spotify. You should listen to that when you
Yeah.
get a chance. It's very interesting.
Wait, their music or your
Just
brand?
the Smile Sessions album.
I was about to say.
Because they never finished the album, so they made a big collab of all of the stuff they recorded, and it's very interesting. Because it's like different versions of the same song, and...
Alright, well, that's enough.
It did.
Bye!
Bye.
Bye.
I gotta pee.